cross-dressing, bullet-digging badass who fought her balls off. LOL, no pun intended.
Who's the dad joke now?
The war! The Revolutionary War. Burr and Hamilton start their respective war careers. And Burr has a really distinguished war career, kills a lot of British dudes, has an amazing sort of run. Meanwhile, George Washington asks Hamilton, hey, be my aide-de-camp. Aide-de-camp is like a fancy word for secretary. Nah, I'm good, I wanna fight. I wanna fight because that's how I'm gonna rise up. And Washington's like, come work for me. It's paperwork, sure, but you're gonna be at the center of the action. You're gonna be in with the guy who knows best. And Hamilton does his political calculus and says, okay. So Hamilton writes his letters. Hamilton writes letters to Congress. This whole time, all Hamilton wants is a command. Hamilton's just sort of tugging on his sleeve, being like, can I fight? Can you just give me like a bunch of dudes? And like, I promise I'll be so good at this. And Washington's like, no, just stay aide-de-camp. But they go through some of the toughest trials of the war together. It's Hamilton and Washington. And then Hamilton finally goes, I quit, I'm out! And Washington, aware of what a sort of gifted but troubled kid Hamilton is, says, all right, you're gonna lead these troops to do this very specific thing in the Battle of Yorktown. Hopefully this is our last battle anyway, but like you will be able to say you led a command. And so Hamilton goes into it like with ridiculous gusto. He's like jumping ahead of everyone, being like, we're at war, like he's like showboating. Like he's totally showboating. Okay. I'm gonna lean forward.
You're okay?
Oh shit, I'm drunk.
You feel okay?
I'm giggly and there's gaps in my memory.
That's all right.
Already.
Okay, so let's get back.
So Yorktown. We won! Well, now we've got to form a country. They all ask him, hey, come be part of the Constitutional Convention. So we're figuring out how the American system is going to work. The Constitutional Convention. This is the room where they're deciding what the shape of our government should be. They're hashing it out. And Hamilton speaks for 6 hours. But some of the things he pitched would haunt him the rest of his career. He pitched maybe president for life. Oh, he's secretly a monarchist. Maybe we inherit positions. Bullshit, that's terrible. This guy just wants to bring back the British. Those whispers are from the perspectives of people who don't like him. But anyway, we adopt the system that we adopt, and Hamilton becomes its most ardent defender.
We're looking for spies, and she's like, hello, I'm very good spy.
Literally a f***ing spy.
Absolutely, you could be a spy. You go down there and do what the you do.
My name is Lucius Dillon. Today we're going to talk about Roald Dahl and his life as a British spy. World War II, Roald Dahl was a fighter pilot for the RAF, the Royal Air Force. And he loved fighting them Nazis. And he's like, oh, this is great. And so he had to go and fly to a base in the desert. He ran out of gas, hit the ground at 75 miles an hour, cracked his skull. He had to drag himself out of the plane before the gas tanks exploded. So he pretty much was like invalided out of the Royal Air Force. But then a famous author, C.S. Forester, wanted to interview him about his crash. Dahl was like, okay, you know what? My mind's a little spotty. Let me just write down some notes for you. Forrester's like, okay, send it to me later. So Dahl sat down to kind of write it, and his mind was kind of muddled because he went through a crash. But he wrote like a really good story, sent it to Forrester, and Forrester wrote back, it's like, okay, look, you're supposed to give me notes, not write a full f***ing story. This is great. This is amazing. I'm not changing a word. I'm sending this straight to the Saturday Evening Post. So that got sent, and it was actually really popular. And he realized, like, okay, I can tear a pretty good yarn, or I don't know if that's the right term, but I can write a pretty good story. See, you gotta tickle it. You gotta know.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, he was the talk of the town, and so he was invited to a lot of these parties. He met up with a really cool guy called Bill Stevenson, and Bill Stevenson is like, "Hey, what's going on with you?" Dahl's just like, "I want to help out England. I didn't bust my nut enough in England. Oh, I still didn't do enough." Stevenson was like, "Well, no, there is other stuff you can do." So Dahl was hired into a dark propaganda section referred to as the BSC, which stands for the British Security Council. A lot of other people were hired. Noel Coward, who was a famous playwright and actor, and also Ian Fleming, who some people might know as James motherfucking Bond. Stevenson was like, let's put you into some good political parties and meet everyone you can and report everything back to us. I was like, okay. So here's Roald Dahl, tall, handsome motherfucker, long ass face, eloquent ass tongue. But every time when he was at the party, like he'd be eavesdropping on newspaper people, politicians, and then secretly just like scribbling, little things on like napkins and reporting it to England. He would also get into finding information through pillow talk. He had a list of ladies that he would go through. Like Sissy Patterson had her claws into the Washington Herald Times. And she's like, "You want to see the bourgeois?" And he's like,
"Yes, please."
So he the shit out of her for a while and got whatever information that he could. Then he went to Evelyn McLean. She knew every politician in the world, so they a lot. So he met Claire Booth Luce. She was a congresswoman, and they and he got so much information through so much of his dick. But after a while, and this is an exact quote, like he called Ambassador Halifax and was like, "Look, I am f***ed out. Okay, this goddamn woman has f***ed me from one end of the room to the other. I'm done. I can't do it. I am squirting dust." And Ambassador's like, "Just close your eyes and think of England." And I was like, "Great, okay, yes I will."
Get your chin.
I'm just no, it's
your chin off my neck.
no. That wasn't my chin wasn't on you at all.
I feel like we're laying on two Muppets.
Yes.
Oh Jesus! Is this your death scene? If you die on the show, we're.
Okay, so FDR was in his third term. Britain was like, okay, he's getting old. We are worried that he's gonna die because he's our biggest supporter right now. You need to let us know everything that's wrong with him. And he's like, yeah, I'll be right over. And now, I'm here right now. And so, luckily, Eleanor Roosevelt was like, hey, I'm a big fan of yours, so meet my husband. And he's like, oh yeah, nice to meet you, FDR. Nice to meet you too, Roald Dahl. And they have a lovely time. They drink a lot. So he took note of everything, wrote it all in a 12-page document, and it worked out very well. Until FDR died, and then the war ended. And Dahl's life as a spy was over. He was like, what can I do now? He's like, well, I need to make a buck. So let me just go for the easy money and I'll just write some children's novels. That'll be great. So he wrote James and the Giant Peach, which was amazing. And then in the same year, he wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which holy was the best. He wrote Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, wrote The Witches, wrote The BFG, wrote Fantastic Mr. Fox. He's hands down, Dr. Seuss, the greatest children's author of all time. And he was a spy, literally a spy. And because of his dick, England was a better place. I enjoy Jay drinking. I enjoy drinking with you.
Jay drinking?
Hello, I'm I'm Claudia O'Doherty, and today we are going to be talking about Virginia Hall, who was a very good spy. So in 1906 in Baltimore, Virginia Hall was born, and she's like, I love Europe. Maybe I should get a job for the Foreign Service. I'm very qualified for that kind of thing because I'm so smart and good at languages. And then she takes the entrance exam for the Foreign Service, but she fails because it's a very hard exam. She was very sad when she got the results. She was like, oh man. But she said, you know what? I need to blow off some steam. And then she decided to go to Europe, and she's having a good time. When she was in Turkey in 1933, though, she was like, hey friends, let's go on a hunting trip. And they're just having a very good time shooting all the animals. And then she's like, I'll just climb over this wall or a fence. I'll just climb over this fence. And she's climbing over, her legs gets caught, and she shot her left foot off. Ow. And she gets fitted with a custom prosthetic leg. And she called her leg Cuthbert.
Cuthbert?
Cuthbert.
Cuthbert.
That's what she calls it. And then what happens? World War II. And she's like, not cool. But anyway, I know what I'll do. I'll sign up to be an ambulance driver for the ambulance corps. That's a very dangerous job in Paris in 1939. And she is like, I don't even care. So then she goes to London. She goes to a dinner party, and the dinner party's in a bomb shelter during an air raid. So she's having a good time at the dinner party, and she meets this woman named Vera Atkins, who is like, ooh, this woman could be of use to us. So she says to Virginia, by the way, I work for SOE, Secret Operations Executive. It's a British spy gang. And she brings in this big, handsome French guy, and he says, would you like to be a spy for us? And Virginia is like, yes, that would be incredible. So she goes back to France and she assumes a new identity, and she's just like a really nice journalist, but actually she's organizing the French resistance. So she is supplying weapons, supplying money, organizing guys. She's also organizing escapes from prison camps. She is just causing such trouble for the Germans. And they're hearing rumors about this woman who was organizing the French resistance, and they didn't know who she was, but they knew that she had a limp, which was embarrassing for Virginia because she didn't think she did have a limp. So that's a very sad part of the story, right? And the head of the Gestapo is Klaus Barbie, who is also known as the Butcher of Lyon. And he's like, what I wouldn't give to get my hands on the neck of that bitch.
It's a bitch.
Yeah. But he was a bad guy, so he used terrible language. So everybody's looking for her now. There are wanted posters everywhere with her likeness on them. They're like, look out for this limping lady. And she's like, excuse me, I don't even limp, but she probably... Anyway, so she's like, how am I gonna get out? I can't go through any of the checkpoints. So because she's got no other option, she hikes over the snowy Pyrenees Mountains with one leg, and she gets out of there. But then who's entered the war? The Americans. And they're like, we're looking for spies. And she's like, hello, I'm a very good spy. And they're like, great. But you're gonna need a really good disguise. And so she dyed her hair gray, put on 2 skirts and 2 sweaters, and she had her fillings changed. So she had French fillings rather than American fillings.
She looks like Miss Doubtfire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also she shuffled, so she didn't have a limp anymore. So then she goes back into France, and she's just delivering cheese everywhere. But actually, she is wreaking havoc. She's blowing up bridges, blowing up train lines, cutting telephone lines. But it's very dangerous the whole time the Germans are looking for her. And then the war ended.
It's kind of good.
So that was good. So then Truman is like, I'm gonna give you a medal, and it is called the Distinguished Services Cross. So she gets the award, and she goes, you know what I'd like to do now? I'd like to finally join the Foreign Service like I've always wanted. And they're like, budgetary cutbacks. You can't be in the Foreign Service. But we've got this new organization. Would you mind joining that? And that turned out to be the CIA. And so she's the first woman to ever be recognized as a member of the CIA's career staff. So Virginia Hall was a true legend, and she didn't let anybody tell her what she could and couldn't do. Not bad for a girl from Baltimore.
Hi, my name is Crystal, and today we're going to talk about the Civil War spy, Harriet Tubman. So Harriet Tubman does not get her just due. Like, you hear her name or you think she led the slaves to freedom, but you most certainly do not know that she was a spy for the Union. So the thing was, when the Civil War started, Harriet Tubman was like, wait a minute, I can do way more. So she went down there to Port Royal, which is in South Carolina, and the Union had like taken it over, but it was still like not smothered and covered. That's like biscuits. It was surrounded by Confederacy, like places and shit. And at first she's just like a regular ass person. She was a nurse. And that's when she was like, I know I can do better than this. Like, I know I can free way more slaves than what you guys are doing right now. And that's when she went to the colonel and was like, I could totally be a spy for you. I have connects. Like, when I dress up and those people have no idea who I am. And the colonel was like, excuse me, I got like a good 15 minutes left in me before the liquor takes over, and God only knows what I'll say.
That's great.
And so then the colonel was like, yeah, obviously my white ass can't go down there. Absolutely, you could be a spy. You go down there and do what the you do. So she was like, okay, let me put on my field hand clothes. And she was like 5 feet tall, so it was very easy for her to like blend into the background. And she is able to like go to the plantations. And she was like, hey guys, like, not to stir up any shit or whatever, but like, I know y'all are tired of being slaves. I was totally tired of being a slave. And none of us have to be slaves anymore. So like, whoever's down to help the Union, just let me know. So everybody was like, cool. And then she would go out. She had these friends who are mariners, which are basically just like people who work in the water, like with water shit. She's like, I know there are mines out here, so let's work together and find out where this shit is, because I'm a spy and I'm gonna get this shit, like I'm gonna burn this shit down. And so then she went back to the colonel and she was like, I have this idea to burn up all the plantations. Here's all my research and you should just let me do it. And the colonel was like, well, f it, like I don't have shit to lose. Like, let's work together and burn that shit down. And so they got together and she was like, listen, this is about to be, like, I'm not even about to bullshit you. This is about to be some bullshit. Like, this is about to be like a real stealth operation. You motherfuckers have never seen no shit like this before. Like, I got some dope ass shit planned out. But I need y'all to all be down and just do what the I say. I got this shit. And in June 1st, 1863, yes. On 1863, they begin this raid. So Harriet Tubman is like on the Combahee River and shit. She was like, I'm down for this shit. Like, I'm ready. And so when the raid started, like, she knew where the mines and shit were in the waters. She and her team of mariners were able to be like, oh, that, oh, that. Like, we're not gonna get caught by these stupid ass traps, slave owners. And then the owners of the plantation, these crazy ass racist white people would see all these black people coming, they'd be like, what the is this? What the What the This is the mic moved.
Oh, right, yeah.
Is this the... I'm sorry, I'm focused. And they were like, hey, racist ass white person, here's another racist ass white person here to warn you that, you know, Harriet Tubman is coming with her army full of bad bitches. And so then they would start shooting and shit, but by then Harriet Tubman was like, bitch, you're too late. Like, me and my people are already here. And guns back then was like just basic as them guns wasn't doing shit. So they would take their torches and be like, yeah, and go in and just burn these plantations down and then dip. And then they would go again. Like, this raid, it was 25 miles along the Combahee River, and they're just like burning down, freeing slaves, getting on the boat, traveling again, avoiding the mines. And so at the end of the day, night, into the raid, Harriet Tubman was like, God damn, I freed 750 slaves. Like, this was dope as hell. And her plan, it was the first military operation that was executed and led by an American woman, and it was planned by a former slave who could not read or write, who was only 5 feet tall, who was both black and a woman, and she still pulled this off. She helped the Union win the war. She freed like at least 1,000 slaves in her lifetime. She was just dope as hell. God, black people have been through so much. Black people have been through so much.
I don't know how to respond to that, except I agree.
Hello, I'm Sugar Lynn Beard, and I'm about to take you through the story of Mata Hari.
Cheers.
Cheers! Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to tell you this story because she's kind of like the grandmother of the striptease.
Whoa.
She's an icon.
You had me a grandmother.
So our story begins in 1903 when a Dutch woman named Margaretha Zelle moves over to Paris. She's like, I'm in Paris, I have no money, what can I draw on? Oh my gosh, I spent 2 years in... Ooh, that's gross. I spent 2 years in Indonesia learning the dances, so she decides to make up a persona for herself. She becomes Mata Hari, the exotic Indonesian dancer. She's like, come to my show, you'll see what dances are like in the Far East. She does her first very big show in this big fancy theater. She's like performing in front of high society, and she's like tearing veil by veil, and underneath that, she's pretty naked. And it's like, oh shit, this is traditional. I can hang in for this. And she's like, peel this one off, and then peel this one off. And she's getting away with it because people are like, it's not a naughty thing. No, this is a cultural, educational experience. I need to watch this woman strip down to her nitties.
Nitties.
Nitties. It's like a titty, but covered a little bit. And with every veil that dropped, her audience loved her more and more. And with that, she became the #1 exotic dancer in all of Europe. Oh, I'm spilling on my face.
Careful. Cheers.
Well. So, she's dancing, she's getting rich, and she was a lover. So she was taking a lot of these men to bed. They're giving her money and jewels and golds for this relationship. Not goals, golds.
Yeah. Give me goals, please.
Give me goals. Look at my nitties for goals. So, Mata Hari is performing in Berlin. It is 1914, July, and the war breaks out. And the German authorities come, and they're like, you love the French, fuck you. We're taking your golds and your jewelry, and now you have nothing. And she's distraught, and she's like, fuck everybody. Hold up. Here it is. Wait a minute. Oh no, shit. I'm so drunk. Hold on. You know what's so fucked up? Is that Mata Hari is approached by the Germans, and they're like, hey, Mata Hari, you're cool, you're sly. I got 20K francs for you to spy on the French for me. Mata Hari's sitting there, she's like, oh, this is a good deal, that's a lot of money. So she agrees. She's like, okay, shit. And he's like, your code name is H21. And she's like, fun, okay. Off he goes, and Mata Hari turns around and she pockets that cash, and she's like, fuck these people. No, they stole my shit, they owe me. She doesn't spy for the Germans. She just goes on this luxurious tour of Europe. She's living it up. She's spending like crazy, to the point that she gets the attention of this dude named Ledoux.
Ledoux?
Ledoux.
The dude?
Okay, hold on. So, oh shit. George Ledoux is part of the French Counter-Espionage Bureau. We need to find someone fucking, betraying France. We need to catch a spy. Ledoux wants to put somebody on trial for betraying France. Didn't matter who it was, so he goes after Mata Hari.
What a douchebag.
So Ledoux's out there, and he ends up following Mata Hari kind of everywhere she goes for a while. Ledoux finally reaches out to her. He's like, hey, Mata Hari, what's up? Like, you don't know me, I don't really know you yet. I think you're cool. You should spy for us, the French. Mata Hari is like, yo, I don't trust nobody. I will do this for you, though, because I love French. I'm saying French.
French.
Oh my God, I wish I could do everything drunk. I really do. This is nice. Okay, she's like, I believe in your side of the war, and also I'll do it for cash money. Ledoux was like, absolutely, we'll give you a ton of cash. But Ledoux doesn't give her any spy tips. Anyway, so she has no idea how to spy, but Mata Hari takes it upon herself to seduce a German diplomat. She's like, you're hot, do you know? And he was like, oh my God, they're landing on the coast of Morocco! So then, she writes a very detailed letter to Ledoux. She has the intel. Germany troops are landing on the coast of Morocco. Ledoux takes all of this information and he uses it against her. He says, how the fuck does this bitch know all of this detailed information if she's not actually working for the Germans? So then, Mata Hari is arrested.
No.
Yeah. On 19... Hold on, here it comes. On February 17th, 2017. Okay, so here we go. On February 1917, Mata Hari goes to trial. Ledoux, he's like, how could she have all this information? Like, the only way she could have this information is if she's working for the other side. She's not smart. She's a woman. Fuck this bitch. I'm scapegoating her. Whatever. And she's like, he's bullshitting everybody. He said that, all of that, and it was a lie. At the end of the day, the jury was like, this woman is immoral. You know, love affairs and having sexy dancing. We think this woman should die, I guess. They sentenced her to death by execution. Firing squad. Yeah, whoa, that was good. Do it again. Okay, Mata Hari is at her execution. At her execution, she looks at her lawyer, and then she looks at her priest. Those kisses. She looks them dead in her eye.
いざ手を伸ばして風を切り裂いて己の地図を描いてゆけ右も左もぐちゃぐちゃに荒れた海のような時代築き上げた価値観さえも崩れ去ろうとした羅針盤の差し
The fireworks.
Happy 4th.
with a dream, my cardigan. Welcome to the land of fame excess. Am I gonna fit in? Jumped in a cab, here I am for the first time. Look to my right and I see the Hollywood sign. This is all so crazy. Everybody seems so famous. My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kinda homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous. That's when the taxi man turned on the radio and a Jay-Z song was on. And the Jay-Z song was on. And the Jay-Z song was on. So I put my hands up to play my song. The butterflies fly away. Nodding my head like yeah. Moving my hips like yeah. I got my hands up to play my song. You know I'm gonna be okay. Yeah. It's a party in the USA. Yeah. It's a party in the USA.
Long overdue, but now feeling slamming. Boys to men, ABC, BBD. The East Coast family never skipped a beat. Nah, while cooling on South Street, jet black band, plenty of friends, and all the Philly steaks you can eat. Back in school, we used to dream about this every day.
The fireworks.
Happy 4th.
The fireworks.
Happy 4th.
I hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream, my cardigan. Welcome to the land of fame excess.
Love dressing up for the ticket events. Actually, if you've watched all
It's like one
our
of the
videos and our
best
streams,
things to
we go all out for our costumes. So last year for Oogie Boogie, Becky went as Marty McFly and I went as Doc Brown. and we cosplayed it. Like we were running around
so cool.
going, "Great Scott!" And it's heavy, man. Look at that. I'd recognize that Mater anywhere.
He's so cute.
He's
Hi,
the cutest.
Mater.
I love using him in the little kart racing game. He's so cool. Actually, let's go around. The line isn't that big. Or actually, we should just get him from the front for a quick second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go see Mater then.
Let's go. And you can
They're
use
asking if the 80s or 90s event at Disneyland was good before.
So we did not get a chance to come to those events, which was a bummer. That's why we took advantage of grad night, because we totally came in like 90s outfit for it.
Yeah.
But if they do have those like 80s night, those 90s night, it would be so awesome. It'd
Which
be
I
so
feel
very
like
cool.
they might not, since it's a reunion right
Yeah.
now. It's just a whole bunch of decades in one. So
Very
that
true.
way you're not just 80s, 90s, you're just a whole bunch.
Yep, I'm gonna take your photo with Mater.
Can I do a selfie?
No,
You want to do something? Here, I'll
I
grab your
can't
drink.
because I can't have a drink with the photo.
Yeah, well, I'll put it down.
All right. Let's see here. That is a cutie. I love Mater. He's so cool. Dale. Oh my gosh.
Hi,
Hey Mater, how are you, buddy? Happy 4th of July. Oh, buddy. Mater's live. Say hi to the stream, Mater.
He's so cool.
Oh. He's so cool. We got his best angle right there. That hidden Mickey. That hidden Mickey right there on Mater right there. You've never noticed it? I got you, buddy. All right, quick photo, because everyone's in line. Cheese. Oh, so awesome. Thank you, Mater. And you guys are live. Thank you guys. Have a great one.
All right, I need the chat back.
There's a chat. Thank you guys. Got to score an opportunity to take a photo with Sir
Mater.
Tom Mater, the greatest spy in Radiator Springs.
That was cool. They did so many motions for us.
Yes, I
on the
really
live.
appreciate it. The cast members are amazing. Now, to answer Magical Adventures, we were there opening day.
There are shows going on all over Southern California. Of course, one of the biggest, this is the biggest show on the West Coast, is here at the Rose Bowl America Fest, and they are celebrating the Rose Bowl's 100th birthday, so it is going to be bigger and better. You can see some of the fireworks behind me here on the golf course, and then they have more inside of the stadium. This is the 96th year fireworks have lit up the sky here, and they are going big to celebrate the Rose Bowl Stadium centennial, having events all week long. Today they will have a motocross show, musical performances, and other family-friendly activities. For the past few days, pyrotechnicians have been setting up 2,500 pounds of fireworks and 30,000 pounds of equipment, which will culminate in about a 30-minute show tonight.
Well, it's the most exciting fireworks show you will ever see, I'll tell you that. Over 3,000 aerial shells, literally thousands of other effects, 25 minutes of choreographed to music, a theme show that celebrates 100 years of the Rose Bowl and 96 years of fireworks at the Rose Bowl.
Of course, there are other spots you can see fireworks as well. At the Hollywood Bowl, you can catch the 4th of July Spectacular with Steve Martin and Martin Short tonight, along with the Los Angeles Philharmonic. So fun, music, and fireworks. Grand Park in downtown is once again hosting a block party. There will be multimedia artworks, food, music, 2 stages featuring DJs, as well as musical performances and fireworks. It goes from 4 in the afternoon to 9:30 tonight. And at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, you can catch Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There will also be live music, food, including movie theater snacks, a bar, and of course fireworks at the end of the night. And there are shows all over town. A few more spots include the Pomona Fairplex. Along with fireworks, there will be celebrity boxing, meet and greets, live music, games, and more. In Marina Del Rey, you can catch the fireworks synchronized to music. Calabasas High School, Cerritos High School, Crescenta Valley High School, and Valencia Town Center will also have their own shows as well. If you are coming here to the Rose Bowl, events start at 7 o'clock tonight, and the big show is at 9:15. If you're staying home, there are still options for you. On KTLA, we will be airing the Big Bay Boom from San Diego. That starts at 8:30. Reporting here in Pasadena, I'm Erin Myers, KTLA 5 News.
Thank you. Welcome to Jimmy Kimmel Live. I am your guest host, Chelsea Handler. Jimmy is taking the summer off because men are weak. This is my third night hosting, and it has been a lot of fun. On Monday, we talked about Roe v. Wade. Last night, I covered the January 6th hearings and Jeffrey Epstein. What should we do tonight? Guillermo, who do you like better, Israel or Palestine?
I like Mexico.
I also like Mexico.
Yeah, it's the best.
Do you know that a lot of the comments online are saying that you and I have really good chemistry? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. We're like cereal milk. We're like... Yes, we're good.
Yes.
Good team.
Thank you. Go team, go team.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday's news was all about Donald Trump's totally psychotic behavior on the day of the insurrection. We also got a glimpse at Melania's awfulness. Her former chief of staff, Stephanie Grisham, tweeted a screen grab of an exchange they had during the attack on the Capitol. So she texted to Melania, "Do you want to tweet that peaceful protests are the right of every American, but there is no place for lawlessness and violence?" And Melania wrote back, "No." Although this should come as no surprise when you consider all of the terrible things Melania has said yes to over the years. She said yes to visiting an immigrant and child detention center wearing a jacket that said, "I really don't care, do you?" She said yes to plagiarizing Michelle Obama's convention speech. She said yes to the most idiotic slogan in First Lady history, "Be best." She said yes to questioning the legitimacy of Obama's birth certificate. And worst of all, she said yes to a proposal from Donald Trump. Which is basically opting to go to a gold-plated prison and become a stepmother to the 4 vampire children Donald Trump calls his children. Speaking of women I despise, let's talk about Virginia Thomas, wife of Clarence Thomas. She's the worst. And I don't want you to think that I enjoy bashing women. I only despise women who fall into one of 3 categories. They hate other women, they're married to a man who hates women, or they're a racist whose cover is being married to a black person. Virginia Thomas is all 3. She's refusing to testify before the House Select Committee about her role on January 6th. She sees no reason to testify when all she did was help lay the groundwork for the riot, talk to everyone involved in planning the riot, and then attend the rally that led to the riot. It's like, can she really just not go testify? How up is it that Virginia Thomas is the only woman in America who still has the right to choose? Also, Ginny or Virginia, whatever your name is, I'm gonna go with Virginia, okay? Virginia's lawyer sent a letter to the committee that ended with this little gem. "I am left to believe if her name were Ginny Jones, the committee would never entertain speaking with her." Yeah, no Sherlock. If her name were Ginny Jones, she'd just be another whack job, but it's not Ginny Jones, and that's the problem. She was texting conspiracy theories about the election to the White House chief of staff and is married to a U.S. Supreme Court justice, the only justice, by the way, who voted against Donald Trump handing over documents related to January 6th. Meanwhile, in New York, Andrew Giuliani, my half-baby, lost in the Republican primary for governor last night.
We're asking every New Yorker for their vote at this point. We got 3 hours to go till the polls close. Vote for Andrew Giuliani. Come on out and do it. Run through the tape. I love where everything is sitting right now, but every single vote matters, so come on out and vote. Thank you.
Andrew, honey, I hope you know that you lost not because of your swollen bee sting head or because you've got a smile like a jack-o'-lantern or because you have 0 qualifications. You lost because your last name is now toxic, because your dad had 1 week after 9/11 when he was considered a hero, but then he blew it when he went nuts. There are so many questions left unanswered. Would Andrew have lost if his dad didn't try to overthrow democracy from a landscaping store or sweat gravy during a press conference? We'll never know. My baby is having a very tough week. On Sunday, Rudy claimed he was attacked at a grocery store in Staten Island. And today, the mayor of New York is calling for an investigation into whether or not Rudy filed a false police report. Not only is Rudy playing up the phantom assault, he's also using the story to brag about his physical prowess.
It was a very, very heavy shot. Now, I'm 78 years old. I'm in pretty good shape for a 78-year-old. Not every 78-year-old is in as good a shape as me.
You're not in good shape. I'm in good shape. And Mick Jagger is in good shape, okay? You look like a baked potato who got his ass kicked right before they popped you in an Easy Bake. You know who else is in bad shape right now? R. Kelly. Today, R. Kelly got hit with a 30-year prison term for racketeering and sex trafficking. When he heard, yeah, we can clap for that. When he heard he was sentenced to 30 years, R. Kelly asked if the judge would consider a younger sentence. Back to women I despise. Congress monster Lauren Boebert of Colorado won her primary last night. I believe Boebert is one of the biggest MAGA morons ever elected to public office, and it's because of comments like this.
The church is supposed to direct the government. The government is not supposed to direct the church. That is not how our founding fathers intended it. And I'm tired of this separation of church and state junk that's not in the Constitution. It was in a stinking letter, and it means nothing like what they say it does.
Okay, well, let's think about that, you dumb bitch. Because I tend to be skeptical about getting constitutional law advice from a human tramp stamp. They frequently tend to skip right to the Second Amendment. And if you bother to read the First Amendment, the very first words are, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. So it seems pretty clear that the government wants nothing to do with religion. Secondly, if you're so keen on what the founding fathers thought, one thing they definitely thought is that women should shut the up in public. And not vote, and not be elected to Congress. Your buddy Thomas Jefferson wrote, governments are instituted among men. So unless you have a the founding fathers don't care what you have to say. But Lauren, I don't think you do have a do you? I know your husband does, because he allegedly showed it to some young ladies in a bowling alley, just like Jesus wanted. And let's all take a moment to remember that the founding fathers were a bunch of toothless dudes who took shadoobies in their backyard, thought that their wives were property, and wanted to protect guns that fired marbles and took 11 minutes to reload. And since we're paraphrasing Jefferson's letters, he said, nothing is so disgusting as a woman who isn't clean. Google it. And while you're there, Google Lauren Boebert diarrhea. And you will learn that this dumbass owned a restaurant that served uncooked pork sliders at a rodeo, which gave dozens of people diarrhea.
How was it?
It was fine.
Used to steal your parents' liquor and climb to the roof. Talk about a future like we had a clue. Never planned that one day I'd be losing you. In another life, I would be your girl. We keep all our promises.
you've left me to love another. You have shattered all of my dreams. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when
Come on, Harry, we want to say goodnight to you.
Holding me back, gravity's holding me back. I want you to hold out the palm of your hand. Why don't we leave it at that? Nothing to say, and everything gets in the way. Seems you cannot be replaced, and I'm the one who'll stay. Oh, in this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. In this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was. You know it's not the same. Answer the phone. Harry, you're no good alone. Why are you sitting at home on the floor? What kind of pills are you on? Ringing the bell, and nobody's coming to help. Your daddy lives by himself. He just wants to know that you're well. Oh, in this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. In this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was. You know it's not the same. Go home, get headlines, feed internet. I don't wanna talk about the way that it was. Leave America, 2 kids follow her. I don't wanna talk about us doing it first. As it was. You know it's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was.
Cheer. Rihanna. Good girl going bad. Take 3. Action. Ho. No clouds in my stones. Let it rain. I hydroplane in the thing coming down like a Dow Jones. When the clouds come, we gone. We Rockefellers. We fly higher than weather, and cheap vibes are better. You know me. In anticipation for precipitation, stack chips with a rainy day. Jay, Rain Man is back with Little Miss Sunshine. Rihanna, where you at?
You have my heart, and we'll never be worlds apart. Maybe in magazines, but you still be my star. Baby, 'cause in the dark, you can't see shiny cars. And that's when you need me there. With you, I'll always share. Because when the sunshine, we shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'll always
took an oath, I'ma stick it out till the end. Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we'll still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Under my umbrella. Under my umbrella. Under my umbrella.
choose, and I'll sing the blues if I want. I'm free to say whatever I like. If it's wrong or right, it's alright. Always seems to me you only see what people want you to see. How long's it gonna be before we get on the bus and cause no fuss? Get a grip on yourself, it's all cost much. Free to be whatever you say. If it comes my way, it's alright. You're free to be wherever you please. You can choose the breeze if you want. It always seems to me you only see what people want you to see. How long's it gonna be before we get on the bus? It calls no fuss. Better grip on yourself, it's all cost much. Free to be whatever I choose, and I'll sing the music if I want. Here in my mind, you know you might find something that you thought you once knew, but now it's all gone. And you know it's no fun. You know it's no fun. I know it's no I'm free to be whatever I choose, and I'll sing the blues if I want. I'm free to be whatever I choose, and I'll sing the blues if I want. Whatever you do, whatever you say, yeah, I know it's alright. Whatever you do, whatever you say, yeah, I know it's Today was gonna be the day they were gonna throw it back to you. But by now you should have somehow realized what you got to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word was on the street, and the fire in your howling out. And I'm sure you heard it all before. Did you ever really have a doubt? I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you. All the roads we have to walk out winding. All the lights that light our way are blind. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Said, baby, you're gonna be the one to save me. And after all, today was gonna be the day, but they will never throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you got to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. All the roads we have to walk out wide. All the lights that light our way are blind. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Don't know how. Said maybe you're gonna be the one to save me. And after all, you're and I said, baby, you're gonna be the one to save me. And after all, and I said, baby, you're gonna be the one to save me. You're gonna be the one to save me. You're gonna be the one to save me. Whatever I choose, and I'll sing the blues if I want. I'm free to say whatever I like. If it's wrong or right, it's alright. It always seems to me you see what people want you to see. How long's it gonna be before we get on the bus to cause no fuss? Gotta grip off yourself and don't cause much. Free say if it comes your way, it's alright. Free to be wherever you. gravity's on the floor. The cracks in the walls have grown too long. The slow hand is dragging on, afraid to meet the dawn. One too many wasted sunsets. One too many far road. And after dark, the door is always open, hoping someone else will show. Sweet child in time, you'll see the line that's drawn between the good and the bad. See the blind man, yeah, he's shooting at the world, bullets flying, oh, taking toll. If you've been bad, Lord, I bet you have, and you've not been here, you've not been hit by flying lead. You'd better close your eyes, you'd better bow your heads. Wait for the ricochet. Sweet child, in time, you'll see the line that's drawn between the good and the bad. See the blind man, yeah, he is shooting at the world, bullets flying, oh, they're taking toll. If you've been bad, Lord, I bet you have, and you've not been hit by flying lead. You better close your eyes, you better bow your head. Wait for the ricochet. Out my window, cool and bright, fade so slowly into night. Funny how things look the same. Now that my friend Eben changed. Amy was a coolie that I used to know. Now he's down with the PLO. Go kicking it loud with the KKK. No JBC, no JFA. Coolie was sporting black tennis shoes. Dealing was looking for something to use. With a pistol in his pocket and a bottle of booze. Well, it could be me, or it could be you. Feels like bottles life is rearranged. Eben, you changed. Eben, you. Oh, how you changed. Oh, you changed. Oh, how you changed. I give you a hard time. Didn't wanna stay. You got out of jail just the very next day. Not fun to see. My friend Eben is a Nazi. He was a Nazi, yeah. Hooked on crack just the other day. Now he's down with the CIA. We got covert operations in Vietnam. Played a hitman assassin like the nom. He went down to protect his country. Eat Mexican food and make lots of money. Come back up north, drive a big white car. And take a trip of fame down the Nicaragua with it feels like heaven. Only you went to blame. Oh, Eben, you changed. Eben, you. Oh, you changed. Oh, you changed. Oh, how you changed. Oh, I'll give you a hard time. I didn't wanna stay. You got out of jail just the very next day. Not fun to see. My friend Eben is a Nazi. He was a Nazi, yeah. So slowly in the night. Funny how things look the same. Now that my friend Eben's changed. So slowly in the night. Funny how things look the same. Now that my friend Eben's changed.
Make a move extreme. Shortcut to your dreams. I float straight through the stars on that flying thing. Getting high. Getting snowblind games. Pikachu, Chickapoo in the world beyond. Got a beat, got a heat on the phony string. Tear your world apart. Once the magic starts. Do you really wanna taste it? What's going on must come down. Baby, you're losing ground. You soon become the mirror. So what's wrong with you? Dancing with your blinkers on. Throw your dog the invisible bone. And put your jet in gear. Anything to get you out of here. Gotta go hit that ride to the setting sun. I gotta leave this mess behind. Gotta cruise on the blues. Got a life to find. What you need is better read on a dotted line.
boom, boom. boy in the corduroy pants. You'll be the girl at the high school dance. And run with me wherever I go. And just play dumb, whatever you know. Oh, yeah. You wreck me, baby. Yeah, you break me in two. But you
so much. Thank you so much. Oh, you made me feel so good. Thank you so much.
封じられしクイーンシーの王は900年を経て鼓動を取り戻し90年を経て理智を取り戻し9年を経て力を取り戻し9日間をもって世界を取り戻す。行くぞ。世界の終わる9日間だ。
頼む。ソウルソサイティを守ってくれ。黒崎一護。
Tonight, the deadly mass shooting at a 4th of July parade in a suburb of Chicago. The horrific scene, people scrambling for safety when gunshots ring out. Police say the gunman used a ladder to climb to the roof of a store, then opened fire. At least 6 people are dead, 24 injured. Police recovering a high-powered rifle. Tonight, authorities naming a person of interest, and just in, the reaction from President Biden. Also, the state of emergency and curfew in Akron, Ohio, after protests over the police killing of a black motorist. Tensions rising after the release of graphic body cam video. Authorities say Jalen Walker fled a traffic stop and fired at officers from a car. Tonight, Walker's family demanding answers, saying he was shot more than 60 times when he was unarmed. And beaches on high alert after another shark attack. A lifeguard attacked during a training exercise. What he's saying tonight and what you can do to protect yourself at the beach.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening. The tears haven't even dried in places like Buffalo and Uvalde, and yet here we are tonight feeling the familiar pangs of anger, sadness, and bitter frustration from a random attack on innocent Americans. This time in Highland Park, Illinois. At least 6 people dead, dozens injured after police say a young man took up position on a rooftop with a high-powered rifle, firing down into crowds gathered for a small-town July 4th parade. As survivors scrambled for safety, the shooter escaped, setting into motion a massive and urgent manhunt. Nearby residents were ordered to stay indoors. The upscale Chicago suburb, unaccustomed to such violence. On a day we celebrate the promise of America, we are again confronted with one of its bewildering shortcomings. Police a short time ago saying they have located a person of interest in the shooting. We have expanded coverage beginning with Shaq Brewster, who's on the scene in Highland Park. Shaq, what are witnesses there saying this evening?
Well, Lester, we're just about a block away from where that shooter opened fire, causing panicked onlookers to run for cover. And you see behind me, it is still a very active scene. You see still, yes, police vehicles, the police caution tape, but more striking, Lester, you see the chairs, the bicycles, the 4th of July decorations that were here as people were gathering. What they thought were fireworks, they say were actually gunshots. One person telling us that what he thought was a military salute was actually the sound of gunfire. And tonight, the community is shaken and hoping for answers and hoping that that suspect that has recently been identified will soon be captured. Lester?
All right, Shaq Brewster tonight at the scene. As you have heard, there has been a late development in the manhunt. Authorities say they have located a person of interest. Justice correspondent Pete Williams has the latest on the investigation.
Late today, after a nearly 10-hour manhunt, police said they found the car they believed was driven by someone they're calling a person of interest, a man police consider the shooting suspect.
The subject did flee. A brief pursuit went on. Ultimately, they were able to get the subject stopped at Wesley and 41 in Lake Forest. The subject was taken into custody without incident.
They've identified him as 22-year-old Robert C. Cremo, known as Bobby. Police say he's also known as the rapper Awake. Police from Chicago and other communities rushed in to help. Along with federal agents, they joined hundreds of officers in an intensive search, launching aircraft and drones, deploying dog teams, and pleading for public tips. Officers fanned out from the scene of the parade, searching nearby buildings. Residents in the area were urged to stay in their homes. 2022 has brought a flood of high-profile mass shootings, more than 300 incidents in all so far this year. That's approaching a record number. Mass shootings in the U.S. have been on the rise since the beginning of the COVID pandemic. Public gatherings are especially difficult to secure, and the Department of Homeland Security has warned that the U.S. remains in a heightened threat environment with a mix of motives. Last November, a man plowed his SUV into a crowd gathered for the annual Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, just outside Milwaukee. 6 people were killed and more than 60 were hurt. Police said the driver, angry and speeding away from a domestic dispute, targeted the crowd. Now the investigation begins into what the motive possibly could have been. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
We're joined now by Congressman Brad Schneider, who represents Highland Park. Congressman, thank you for being with us. My understanding, you were just pulling into Highland Park when the shooting broke out. Can you tell us what you saw and experienced?
Sure. I mean, this is one of 5 Independence Day parades we do every year. It's a tradition here in town, and I just finished the first one and was coming into town for the second one when I was talking to my team, and they said shots just rang out, everyone is scattering. I was probably half a mile away and went around the parade area. What I saw were people leaving the area in a hurried fashion. I think most people were in shock and unclear exactly what was happening. As Governor Pritzker called it, a monster with a high-powered assault weapon shattered what is an annual celebration of America's Independence Day with untold numbers of rounds, murdering 6 people and wounding at least 24 others.
Police have said it was a high-powered weapon. You're saying it was a high-powered assault weapon?
What I'm hearing is it's an assault weapon, but it's a high-powered weapon. It was from the description of the wounds and the injuries. People were the injuries were devastating.
I think we all look at a July 4th parade, especially in a small town, as about as American as it gets, a slice of Americana. How is that affecting you tonight as you look at what's happened?
I'm devastated. This is one of my favorite holidays, and the 4th of July, the holiday parades are a time for everyone to come together and celebrate, to stand shoulder to shoulder. And in the midst of that, someone destroyed countless lives. Community was shattered. A lot of people are grieving, and it will be a long time for this community to heal and recover.
Well, we are all sad, and your community is going to struggle with this. Congressman Brad Schneider, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Glad to be able to join you.
President Biden weighing in tonight, saying he was shocked by today's attack. Let's go right to White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell. White House is responding to yet another mass shooting, Kelly.
Lester, the president reached out by phone to speak with the Illinois governor and the mayor of Highland Park. He also surged federal resources to help, including in the search for the suspect. And the president also at the White House today spoke at a cookout for military families, but he only made a brief reference to today's shooting. He did talk about the signing the first gun safety related measure in 30 years. That got applause from the crowd here, but that law includes expanded background checks for gun buyers under age 21. The president also said there is much more work to do. Lester?
All right, Kelly, thank you. We want to turn now to Akron, Ohio, and growing outrage over a deadly police shooting there. A state of emergency and curfew have been declared after the city released police video showing 8 officers firing on an unarmed black man. Here's Maggie Vespa.
Mounting anger and a march to the mayor's house, demanding justice for Jayland Walker, the man shot dozens of times, authorities say, by 8 officers in Akron, Ohio.
It hurt our heart to see that a young black man was gunned down.
The mayor declaring a state of emergency after more protests overnight. Police appearing to deploy tear gas on a crowd enraged at new body cam video of Monday's deadly shooting. The family attorney says authorities told him an estimated 90 rounds were fired, leaving Jayland Walker with, authorities say, roughly 60 wounds on his body. They say the 25-year-old was unarmed when he was killed.
In this case, there was an attack on my client. That was an attack.
I understand the public's demand for information now.
The 7-minute clip shows Walker's last moments, beginning with a high-speed chase. Police say officers tried to pull Walker over for an unspecified traffic violation, which was not shown on tape, but he sped off and allegedly fired at them.
That vehicle just had a shot come out of its door.
Police say you can see the flash from the gun from a security camera. The video shows Walker later ran from his car wearing a ski mask. Officers, investigators say, fired tasers but missed. Moments later, that fatal hail of bullets. Police saying the officers said they thought Walker was turning toward them, reaching for a gun, adding they found a gun not on him but in his car. The family revealing Walker had recently lost his fiancée. Robert Hubbard was Walker's high school wrestling coach, tonight remembering him as a sweet kid.
I've never seen him raise his voice in anger. To be shot down like that, like some type of a rabid animal. It was devastating. I still don't understand it.
The 8 officers who have yet to be named are now on leave per standard protocol while the state investigates. Walker's family pleading for answers.
We just want to know what happened. And why did this have to happen to him?
Maggie, as we noted a moment ago, Akron remains under a state of emergency with a mandatory curfew. Are officials anticipating unrest tonight?
Lester, they are. You might be able to hear some protesters behind us in front of the police department here in Akron. Safe to say the entire city remains on edge. We saw police officers driving around in riot gear earlier today. All 4th of July celebrations here tonight remain canceled, and that curfew that you mentioned goes into effect at 9 p.m. All of this is that independent investigation into this shooting continues. No estimate, by the way, as to how long that will take. Lester.
All right, Maggie Vespa, thank you. We are keeping an eye on a severe storm threat that could add to the holiday travel chaos we've been seeing all weekend at airports and on the roads. Tonight, severe storms expected from the northern Rockies to the upper Midwest. 16 million people could be affected. And tomorrow, 61 million people will be in the path of storms that could bring tornadoes, hail, heavy rain, and strong winds from Montana to Maryland, making travel a challenge in places. Have a look at this now. A spectacular crash this weekend at the British Grand Prix. Several cars collided on the first lap. The car driven by Zhou Guanyu flipped over, skidded down the track, then flipped over a barrier. Zhou was checked out at the hospital. He's fine. He says Formula One's titanium halo system saved his life. We're back in a moment with the survivor speaking out after a shark attack. We turn now to the shark danger lurking offshore this holiday weekend and some pretty incredible stories from survivors who were able to fight them off and escape. Kerry Sanders has the latest.
Today, New York beaches along Nassau County reopened, but with an urgent message of caution. In a rare twist, a lifeguard here became the victim. 33-year-old Zach Gallo was mimicking a swimmer in distress, all part of a training exercise, when a shark bit his hand and left several sharp punctures to his chest.
As I was treading water, felt that sharp pinch in my hand, and as I pulled my hand close to my chest, I just started hammer punching the water and connected with the shark a couple of times.
Beachgoers today aware but undeterred.
I saw a notification on my phone, but I thought, you know what? Let's not let this scare us. Let's just have a good time today.
For perspective, records that date back almost 200 years show shark attacks are rare, the most happening around popular surfing beaches in Daytona and New Smyrna, Florida. Another minor shark bite there just yesterday. So while recent videos like this in the Gulf of Mexico are attention-grabbing, experts say the recent spate of attacks are most likely a consequence of more people in the water. Last week, 17-year-old Addison Bethea was snorkeling off the Florida Panhandle, hunting scallops, when a 9-foot bull shark like this one hit her right leg. Doctors say it will now have to be amputated.
I did go into shock, and I passed out a lot, but I do remember it coming up to me, and I didn't really freak out. Like, obviously, I screamed for help.
If the fireworks show you're going to is at the beach and you're there before the sun goes down, just remember, sharks actively feed close to shore at dusk. Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Fort Lauderdale.
When we come back this Independence Day, no freedom from fear. Finally, tonight, as we celebrate our independence today, we also find ourselves dealing once again with a crisis that seems to have no end. And now we add Highland Park, Illinois to the list that no city, no town, no suburb wants to be on. Another shooter, another list of victims whose stories we will read and watch through tear-brimmed eyes. It's as if we're living through perpetual deja vu. Weren't we just there? In Uvalde, Texas, and Buffalo, New York, and in the dozens of places around the country where gun violence has taken innocent lives too soon. There is a particular pain that comes today, a day that is meant to be a celebration of the American experiment, an experiment that put the power of government in the hands of the people in the form of an incredible democratic republic. We expect fireworks today, not gunshots. Thus, the brief confusion survivors described as reality unfolded before them. The latest scene of mass fatalities and even more casualties. There is no easy answer to this recurring problem. But tonight, we mourn as a nation once again when we were meant to be celebrating. Tomorrow, I'll be reporting from the scene of today's mass shooting in Highland Park, Illinois. That's Nightly News for this Monday night. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'm Lester Holt.
In honor of the 4th of July, we invite you to come together as we commemorate the enduring spirit of this great nation. With joy, we celebrate the United States of America, a vast mosaic of individuality and inspiration, a vibrant palette of cultures and colors, a country whose pioneering spirit minds of people who around the globe. America continues to inspire those who believe in their dreams. From sea to share all that this great and beautiful nation has to offer. In the words of songs, that enduring spirit is found in the music of our land.
Hi, my name is Taylor Tomlinson, and I feel braggadocious about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
That's a very good one. I like that.
It's a really good one. Thank you.
Try bragging about it, though. It's not going to get you far.
I have.
Oh, you have?
Oh, I have, yeah. I sent it to my sibling group chat this morning.
Oh, nice.
Which is very active. And my youngest sister wrote back in all caps, "Holy fucking shit. Say hi to Sona for me. I love her so much. And Matt, my idols." And then in lowercase, love Conan too.
Oh. That was a body blow. That was a punch. That was a punch to the solar plexus. And I wasn't prepared for it, so all the wind has gone out of me now.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's. I get it. I get it.
No, it's very helpful because a lot of people ask, like, have you done any cool shows? Like when people don't know that you're successful, they're like, have you done any cool gigs? And you're like, kind of. And going on tour with you is always my answer.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's really nice.
We had a blast.
We had so much fun.
I don't know what your memories are of that, but I'll just bring people up to date. We did I want to say this was before COVID, not
2018.
2018, and maybe the cause of COVID. We're not sure.
There's
the Wuhan theory, and then there's the Conan tour theory. And
it was weird you had a lab on the private jet.
I'm constantly constantly doing experiments with weird viruses.
You're like, is that a bat, Conan? You're like, just work on your set.
Yeah, hey, tighten up that ending. Okay, why don't you worry about your stuff and let me worry about these bat viruses that I'm concocting. Yeah, we all have hobbies, okay?
That's your hobby.
Yeah, that's my hobby. Yeah, I need to be more careful about keeping that shit in the lab. But anyway, we went on this tour, and I remember my distinct memory of you was, I would say most of the audiences were really good.
Yeah.
They were really terrific audiences wherever we went. But I remember you just being absolutely fearless in a way that blew me away because you're so young.
Oh, thank you.
And I was very impressed. I was like, this person doesn't know fear or is not showing it that you have fear. But you would go out there and you would kill it, and you had a sense of purpose that I found to be incredibly impressive.
Oh,
and,
that's so nice.
You know, you're like a third my age, and I just was blown away by that. You know,
Yeah.
I've actually done the math.
Have you?
Yeah. I'm 79, and you were 11 on that tour. So
yeah, I was like, is Conan 90?
You're gonna really love her. Unlike some of us, she didn't fight in the Korean War.
Yeah, I think I was 24 at the time, and what I've found is that if you start really young, people are very impressed with you, even if you are trash. So who knows how good I actually was, but it's like when you see like a dog skateboard and you're like, he's not supposed to be able to do that. You're like,
Yeah.
Is he a good skateboarder? It's like, no, he's a dog, but he's doing it.
He's doing it.
Yeah, which is more than we ever thought he could do.
I'm not going to say you were a dog on a skateboard. I'm not going to say that. You're a hilarious comedian, and one of the things that impressed me is we talked a bunch of times, and your work ethic and the I don't want to say pressure you put on yourself, but you have a very high standard, which I found to be incredibly impressive.
Oh, thank you. Well, again, when you're younger in this business, I think you get certain opportunities when you're young and you want to prove that you're worthy of them. So that's certainly an aspect of it that contributed to that pressure. And then also I just, want to be really good at my job. I think it's more fun when you're really good. But yeah, I mean, that tour was so insane because I remember like the first night, maybe we all had dinner and you like pulled me aside afterward and made a point to be like, hey, just so you know, really glad you're here. You deserve to be here. Like, you kind of picked up on my imposter syndrome, I feel like.
Right.
And made a point to be very encouraging, which I think you did with everyone, I've heard.
Not with Funches.
Well, he's very confident.
Yeah, he's an imposter.
I
was like, look, I know we all feel like we're imposters, but you Funches. No, I absolutely, I'm picking on this guy because I absolutely adore him. But
he's so good.
First of all, you showed up for the tour and you were sick.
Oh yeah, this was back when it was impressive to push through an illness.
Yes.
This was, again, 2018. I think I had like the flu the first leg of the tour, and I came back the second week and everyone was like, nice to meet you. Because the first week I was just in so much pain. I was trying not to even drink water because we were on a private jet with Conan O'Brien, and I'm like, I can't be in this bathroom.
Can I say the most impressive thing? Yes, we got a jet for certain legs of the trip, to get us from here to there. But the economics of the tour was, this is how it's going to work. If there's 11 of us on a private plane, this can all work. So we did that, and about halfway through the tour, I remember you guys saying, so Conan, when you bought this jet, did you, how did you pick out this wood grain? And I said, wait, what? And you guys were like, when you bought this jet, and I remembered, I think I was saying to you, I said, this is not my jet.
Yeah.
We're leasing this jet for this tour because the tour is helping to pay for it, but I fly commercial, I don't have a jet. And I said to you, what made you think that I have a jet? And you said, well, you've been on television my whole life. And I'm like, so therefore you must have a jet. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I
No,
remember...
my jet is American Airlines. Hi, American.
I remember thinking,
like a little less straight.
Conan doesn't have a private jet. Who the fuck does?
Well, I say, like, this is the thing with me, is I see people, and I know that it's a big sign of success with like Instagram people and influencers that you fly around on a private jet. And I always tell people, do you know what that shit costs?
Oh, yeah.
And none of your children will ever go to college if you're flying around on those things. It's not going to happen. So I'm very happy to hitch a ride with someone, or if the tour will pay for it, great. It's lovely. But I just knew when there was that moment where you guys were like, oh, so Conan's jet's pretty nice.
Oh, yeah. We all thought that was your jet.
I should have kept my mouth shut, too.
Yeah, you should have.
And I should have worn a big fur coat the whole time.
You should have. I remember, too, we were all scared to take the photo in front of the jet, but we wanted it, obviously. The minute we saw the jet, we were like, we're all going to get a picture in front of this jet, right?
Right.
But we were like, it has to be a group photo. We have to time it. So I think we waited till like the last day, maybe, of the first leg. And I remember Ron was the one who was like, yeah, we're taking a picture in front of the jet, of course. And we were like, oh, thank God. Okay, let's just do it. And we were also like, can we ask Conan to be in the photo? Is that okay? Like,
right.
I don't know if anybody, I guess Flula probably knew you the best of anybody, but I had only met you for moments on your show.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what you were going to be like. And I remember thinking just like, why is Conan like hanging out with us? Like,
did your respect for me plummet?
Oh, yeah, of course. The veil was pulled back, and I said, maybe he's not as talented as I thought he was if he's rubbing shoulders with us.
My guest tonight, of course, is a very talented actor. We'll get to you in just a second. Please. No, don't read ahead. Is a very talented actor.
Keep going.
Who starred in the popular TV shows.
I don't like this whole sitting down thing.
Justified and Deadwood.
Will this work?
No, this is awful. He was also in the I said Quentin. He's also in the Quentin Tarantino film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Please welcome what says here our good friend. We'll fix that later. Timothy Oliphant. Timothy, where are you? Yes! Good to see you, buddy.
Shit, I blew it. I came out with the mug and I gave away.
No, it's fine.
It was supposed to be here. Do you want to do it again?
No,
because
that's
I'm supposed
fine.
to come out and it's there.
Trust me.
But I kind of gave away.
It's fine. It's beautiful. Please.
Although, because he got up, we do have to take his temperature again.
Is that Andy?
Yeah, Wait, what's that?
Is that Andy?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Which one is it?
Tim, I'm over here.
Over that way.
I'm over here. I'm the one that's vaguely movable.
Sometimes it was hard to tell at first. I don't know if it's because the cardboard cutouts are so lifelike or...
Yeah, we get it.
Look, the point is, you have brought a lot of energy. Oh, sorry.
May I?
Yeah.
May I?
Go ahead.
Because
I forgot I shouldn't do a lot of talking here on Conan. Go ahead.
Conan. What is your last name?
It's O'Brien.
O'Brien. My brother called today, by the way. I told him I was coming to see you. He said, tell him he's still my favorite O'Brien.
That's a lousy...
Anyway, no, hold a second. Because a lot of times, and you were alluding to this, I'll come on your show, if we can still call it that.
What the hell's going on? This is...
Just, hey, take it easy. And you know, we do bits.
Yes.
And I run around and we talk. I have a lot of pre-planned anecdotes and
yes.
One might argue that I interrupt you a lot. But I want you to know today, I'm just here to listen.
That's really great because you don't do a
Can
lot
I
of...
ask you a quick question first?
Yes.
When's the audience coming back?
They're not coming back. Here's what I think is going to happen. Our plan is, as you know, we're wrapping up the day in, day out show. That the final one is on June 24th. So the last 3 weeks, we're going to be, we're going to sort of really ramp it up, do a lot of fun, look back, and then the last 2 weeks, audiences, real audiences.
So in like 2 weeks?
No. Don't. We want you here now.
Can't wait to see him.
No. I'm
Can't
saving.
wait to see him.
No, Tim, come back. I want you here. We've tested you.
Why do I have to be here now?
Because we've tested you. You do very well with cardboard. You're an electrifying presence. You don't need an audience. You and I have a thing. People talk about it. It's a thing we have.
Is that? And we're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sort of an what's the word? Antipathy. Is that it?
Yes.
Sort of, we bump up against each other. There's a anger and a jealousy, but there's also a love and affection.
It's been too long, though. I haven't seen you in, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw each other once, like early in this whole
pandemic.
Yeah.
I came to your house. Do you remember this? I came to your house and sat in your front yard.
Oh, that's right.
With your wife and kids, and we all sat around wearing masks, and I chatted you guys up, and then your kids gave you like a signal, which clearly meant he's got to go. I saw them do that. They're very cool, beautiful kids, but they made it clear that I should move along, and it was sad, and then I just walked away from your house like a sad hobo.
I miss seeing you. I miss hanging out with you.
Well,
going to dinner. It's opening up now. We get the wise. We could go out to dinner.
Let's not rush it.
I enjoy hanging out with you.
Let's not rush it. Let's wait another year.
In person, you're very interesting. You know what I mean? I feel like the audience doesn't. The audience doesn't see that side of you. You're very fascinating when we get together in real life.
He basically just said you've been boring for 30 years.
So you're saying, you know me personally, and you think in person.
In person.
But on TV, what happens?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Right? But you know what? You got how many weeks you got left?
We got a couple of weeks left.
It's not too late. Let them in. Let them in.
You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be.
You know what I mean?
What are you holding your gaze on the audience for? Just. The money's over here. It's right here. This is the prize right here.
I see you, Neil Young.
Yeah. You've been doing so much great stuff. I understand you went back to school during quarantine.
I did. I went back to college. Yeah.
Well, how'd you do that? Did you do it online?
I did. I realized I wasn't going to be working for a while, even though, I realized, like many people out there, I wasn't going to be working for a while, but I was fortunate enough to be able to, I didn't have my degree. I never got my degree.
Oh, you never got your degree?
Yeah, no, I was like 2.7 units shy of a degree. And it was just kind of sitting there for years and years and years. And then I realized.
This is USC?
I went to USC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I realized, my wife and I were taking classes anyway, just kind of online classes. They were really kind of fun, and I realized, wait, I should take a class and get my degree. We're here. I got the time. It was amazing. So I called up. I reached out to some advisor, academic people over at the campus, and they pulled up my file from whatever, and I re-enrolled and got my student ID and reached out to the fine art department because I could take, it was anything, I could do elective, but I was like, I really want to go back and work with the fine art department again. And then it turns out my college professor, one of my college professors who I was so fond of and worked so closely with, the wonderful Ruth Weisberg, who became the dean of the fine art department. I'm going to get into more detail. It's going to be fascinating for you and I think for the listeners.
Mm-hmm. Did you take a course online in finishing an anecdote by any chance? Those take time. Forget it.
Listen.
I think it's great that you went back. First of all,
went back.
You're a talented artist. I don't think people know that about you. You're a very talented artist, and you went back and you got your degree.
I got my degree, and I got to work with the same, not only did I go back 30 whatever years later, I worked with the same professor who I worked with when I was in college, and it was just an amazing experience.
I want to show people a picture of you. Yeah, we have it. This is you at USC.
There you go.
And absolutely incredible. Andy, any thoughts?
I think we showed this once before, and I said, that is a really cute lesbian.
Yeah. I just wanted to hear it again.
That was me.
You're adorable.
They put my, I was on the, I was going to make a crew team joke. Remember the USC thing? The girl put her head on a thing, and then they put her on the crew team.
Yeah, there was during the college cheating scandal. They put, some of the moms that were indicted were caught putting the girl's head on the body of someone who was really rowing on the crew team, even though their kid didn't row crew.
Right, and then she got kicked out of school for that.
Yeah.
Which I think was the wrong course of action.
You thought that was the wrong punishment? What's the right punishment?
They should have forced her to and do crew.
You mean, because crew is what? You got to get up there at like 5 in the morning?
Yeah, can you imagine? When that one went down and she was like, I guess I'm out of here, they should have said, no, sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, practice tomorrow morning. We'll see you there. Put her on a little canoe, whatever it was, you know?
It's not a canoe.
Stroke.
Have you ever done crew?
No,
Okay, because you just called it a canoe.
You look like you did crew, though.
Thanks a lot, pal. You don't get these broad shoulders just hanging around.
What sports did you play? Let me say it again. What sports did you try to play?
Well, that's terrible. That's mean, try to play.
What sports did you play?
I was a fine hacky sack player. I ran track for a while in high school, was not very good and didn't do well at it. I had very small lungs at the time.
That's what the problem was, the lungs?
I think it was very small lungs.
The lungs.
Disproportionately small lungs. But I ran track.
Did you have those giant feet, like, where you just couldn't, like, it was just tough? Come on, did you? You did, right?
I wasn't like a baby brontosaurus.
No, yeah, you did, though, right?
Yes.
My son, who you know, he was a tall, lanky kid.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And I remember once talking to him, and I think we were talking about skiing. Yeah. And I was like, come on, we're all going to go skiing. We'll go snowboarding. And he's like, come on, Dad, I want to ski. Why not? He's like, look, oh, come on, man. I got a hard enough time walking. I feel like that's what
I had very large feet.
Yeah.
Still do. And
did you ever trip in a competition and just fall, like on nothing? Did that ever happen?
Yes.
Where you just literally out of the blocks and you fell?
Yeah. I fell before they fired the gun, and I fell after they fired the gun.
I know.
No, I shouldn't have been out there. I shouldn't have been out there. You, of course, a terrific athlete.
We have photos and video footage of it now.
No, we don't.
Nope.
There's no footage of it. I had it destroyed. So this is your fun thing to do. You're obviously a very talented man, a very good-looking man, a very good athlete, and you love to come on here and point out that I'm not those things. That's your fun little game.
No, I just was wondering what sports you did.
Sure you did.
You said track.
Yeah.
Okay.
High school. I didn't play a sport in college. Let's just say comedy was my sport.
And I know you well, and I know you're a legend. Not just now, like people know you're a comedy legend, but you were like a comedy legend in college.
I love this part of the interview.
You were the youngest person to ever be the editor of the thing at the school.
What a lovely tribute. What a lovely, well thought out. You know what'd be great?
They had a magazine. They had
you know what'd be great if you hosted a reimagined version of This Is Your Life.
I am. It's coming on this channel.
He didn't
June
do any
25th.
research at all.
Yeah.
So it was like Conan O'Brien. You did a thing with the thing, and then you met somebody, and then there was another thing.
It's gonna be huge.
That was your life.
June 25th, TBS.
24th. Last
No,
show.
that's when your show ends. My show starts the next day.
Oh.
That's why I'm here. Was that not clear? I'm here to promote my show.
We'll get to that.
It's called The Guest. We're flipping it.
Listen,
they said, do you want to host? I said, no, I like being the guest. And they said, we could do that. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So it's going to be...
so it's the guest with
every week.
Timothy Oliphant, and you're the guest every week.
Every night.
Every night.
It's nightly.
Wow.
What do you do now? 2 nights, 3 nights a week? How many nights a week do you do?
We do 4.
All right, but...
Clearly, big fan. Hey!
So The Guest, 4 nights a week, TBS.
I'm going to say one full sentence if it kills me. You played a marshal.
You could come on and be a host one night. You could be a host.
I can't. Why? Why do we even bother?
Tonight's host, Conan O'Brien. And then you come on.
That's funny.
Right? You get it? It's a flip.
Incredible. I don't know where you get these ideas. It's impressive. You always have good ideas. Your kids must have been impressed that you were in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
They love that.
Because it was the coolest movie. It's Tarantino, and then it's all these huge stars. You took them to the premiere, right?
I took the oldest 2. I can't remember why the youngest one didn't come. They'd never been to a premiere. It was very exciting. They really enjoyed it. You know, it was amazing. I mean, it's really nice now that they're older and that you can kind of do these things. And, you know, I think they're enjoying it, and it's not so relatively not so crazy and bizarre and overwhelming. But they love Tarantino movies, and they were thrilled to that. And they met Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, and all of that was very exciting.
I would think so.
They
yeah.
flipped over Snoop Dogg, though.
Snoop Dogg was there?
Snoop Dogg was at the premiere. It was really quite something. It's amazing the power of music, and specifically him, I guess, because they had met all these incredible people. They were very excited, or it seemed cool, and they were and then Snoop walked in, and it was like, oh, they just went.
Right, it's a whole other level of excitement.
Oh my God, they went, yeah. They were like, oh my God, and we're like, what? It's like Snoop's here, and I was like, should I had a friend in common, and they're like, yes, they want to go meet Snoop, so. My wife, it was my wife, our oldest daughter, and my son. We walked over, and my friend introduced me to Snoop, and God bless him. He looked at me and just said, "You're a bad mother."
Yes.
I know, right? Because I tried to play it real cool.
That's the ultimate compliment from Snoop.
I tried to play it real cool, and I was like, "Wow, thanks." And he goes, "No, you're a bad." He said it twice. And inside, because my kids are right there, inside there's a little me going, yes, yes, right? Like, yeah, see? Told you.
Yeah.
Right?
He says that a lot, though.
Doesn't matter.
He met my mom like 8 years ago, and that's what he said to her. You bad mother. My mom high-fived him. Then they smoked some chronic out in an alley. It was a good time. But I'm glad he said it to you, too.
You know what?
You know what?
Rude. You're just upstaging my anecdote.
Nope, not at all.
It wasn't even that good of an anecdote.
No, it was a good anecdote, but you know what I did? I put a little cherry on the sundae.
Took it to another level.
You know what?
I'm going to start over.
Nope, no time for that. Listen, there's no transition. We can't afford those now. You get mistaken a lot for actor Josh Duhamel, okay? In fact, today I was pretty sure we booked Josh Duhamel. We were excited. And then...
That's why I'm here.
Again.
I'm here to promote something on Netflix that he's doing. That's why I'm here.
Isn't it stunning, Andy?
Now they just call
it's stunning how much he looks like Josh Duhamel.
Yeah.
Here's a side-by-side picture of the two of them. Yeah. I don't even know. I can't tell which one is you.
You know, he did.
I think, though, Duhamel is like the large version and he's the medium version. Because Duhamel is a big, tall man.
Yeah. No, this is true. I can vouch. I tell you, he did my... God bless him. He did my family Christmas card. He posed with my family, and we sent it out as my. Yeah.
Is that true?
That's absolutely
true.
true.
Wait, so you got Josh Duhamel to pose with your wife and kids, and you're not in the picture?
Yeah, no, I have it on my phone. I'm going to show it to you. So for years I've been hearing, this goes way back, early 2000, I've been hearing, this guy Josh Duhamel? I was like, no, he said, you guys look a lot alike, and we had friends in common. And then I'd get mistaken for him, and my wife just would love that. She'd just needle me, like, oh, it's Josh Duhamel, and I'd be like, off. And she loved it, though. Yeah. And then we had friends in common, so I knew we had this mutual thing. We got mistaken for one another. So we're at a Dodger Stadium, and for a charity event that Clayton Kershaw was putting on, my buddy A.J. Ellis at the time was playing for the Dodgers. There's a lot of names involved. You want me to tell you about all the people, the college professor again?
I'll pay you not to.
Thank you. So anyway, help me out. Stay on track.
I'm right here. I'm right here with you. You're playing this charity event. We're at Dodgers.
And there he is.
Josh Duhamel.
Yes. And we've never met. And as soon as we see each other, just laughter. Just laughter. Just years of what we both... And anyway, long story short, if that's still possible, I say, hey, dude, my whole family's here. Would you take a picture with them? And he very kindly obliged, and it was wonderful. But we sent this out as happy holidays from all the Oliphants and Josh. Here's the picture here. Where am I putting it? Look at that. So all I know is that right around the holidays, my brother calls me from my mom's place. He says, I'm here at Mom's, and your Christmas card's on the refrigerator with all the holiday cards. And Mom saying, don't they look, everyone look great? And my brother says, Mom, that's not Tim, right? She's like, what are you talking about? She goes, that's not Tim in the card.
Your mom didn't
She
know?
goes, that's an actor named Josh Duhamel. And I swear to you, according to my brother, he said, Mom peeks in and goes, I thought he looked taller. Yeah. I sent that. We now exchange holiday cards. He's on the holiday card mailing list. He got a card that year from us, and I got a card from him. And the only difference is he was in both cards, yeah. So, you know what? He can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned. Everyone should watch his show.
On Netflix.
Yeah, it's like a superhero thing. I think it's great.
Yeah. And he'll be watching your show, The Guest, starring Timothy Olyphant.
The Guest. He could come on and be a host.
Yeah. You're not taking that mug with you. We're hanging on to those. Those are collector's items. Tim, you're a wonderful fellow.
It is. Go ahead.
I was just going to wrap it up.
Someone needs to. I mean, it seemed like it's a lot of pressure. This is our last interview on this particular show.
So what? There have been so many versions of my shows.
Right.
That whatever. You know, you shouldn't feel any pressure.
But this is the last. Like I read, and we haven't even talked about this. What did the doctors say? What do you have, and how long have they given you?
Let's get that rumor started. They said it's just too much talent. And actually, it is destroying my immune system. I have so much talent.
Right.
And they said, you've got to just stop for a while.
I know it hurts for me to be so close to it.
Trust me.
You know what I mean? Like I can feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, when I first read, and you know this because I called you, because I read when I read that this version of this show was ending.
Right.
I have to say, because we've been friends for a long time, and so when I read it, I thought immediately, as soon as I saw it, I thought, what does this mean for me? You know? And then,
right.
I thought, oh, and Andy. And then I thought I should call Conan.
Yeah, you did. Several weeks later, I heard from you. Yeah.
Because...
No, yeah, but whatever. You will always be in some version doing something with each other.
Romantic. I feel like before I go, I should say something of value about how much this show and this friendship, and we met on this show.
That's true.
Yeah,
no, you came on the show,
right,
and you came on the show, and we became friendly, and I knew right away this is a guy who will be a friend of mine and interrupt me in my personal life and my professional life. Never let me finish a sentence. This is a guy who can do that for me the rest of my life.
I think I said something, that bit we did, we should get together and actually, we talked about this bit idea, and I remember saying we should get together and actually do that. And you said, or we could just get together and go have dinner or drinks or something like that.
And not do the bit.
And not do the bit, which crushed my show business dreams. But because I think the bit could have been big. But I really appreciated it. And then it was just sort of like, yeah, give me your number. We exchanged numbers, boom, 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 done. A lot of times in show business, somebody says, hey, we should have dinner. Then the next thing I know is I have someone's assistant reach out to my agent who reaches out to me. Right. And then I never see that person.
Well, I can't do that because my assistant doesn't do anything I ask her to do. Okay. To be fair, you would have screwed that up if I had said, can you call Tim Olyphant? You'd have screwed it up.
That's not true.
It is true. You would have called him and set up a dinner with you and Tim.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, he's really cool. Yeah. Listen, whatever listen, I know you've told me about the problems.
Yes.
With Sona. What?
They're legendary.
He said you're aware of them. And then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
Assistant. I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
But you know this over the years. I don't know how many years it's been. We don't ever I never get like, oh, Conan wants to have dinner at this restaurant. He just handles it all on his own.
Yeah. That's me. That's what I do.
I see that as a sign of this is. By the way, we can stop the cameras.
Oh, they ran out of tape. Tim, they ran out of tape about 40 minutes ago.
Frank, how are we doing, by the way? Do we feel
I had it. We have it, and I wrapped it up.
Do we feel like we have something? Do we want to?
No, we've got it.
Hear more about your teacher that you haven't seen.
I'm ending this. We have it in spades.
Ruth Weisberg, first of all, is a wonderful woman, wonderful work.
We have to turn the theater back over.
And still...
to the people that own it.
Yeah, there's a high school graduation coming in.
Yeah, we have to get out of here. But listen, you are a terrific guest. You are a very good friend. And whatever I do next, you'll be a part of it. I promise you, even if you don't want to be.
Oh, that's fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, it'll be great. So,
is there money involved?
No, there'll be no money involved.
Just friendship and loyalty and stuff like that?
Not even friendship. Hey,
what?
Thank you so much for coming.
You know what?
Timothy Oliphant, there's no one else like you, and we thank the good Lord every day.
You guys are the best. You're the best.
What? I guess one of us didn't get the memo. I don't know. What is this?
Is this what you guys are wearing?
Yes. This is what we're wearing.
The invitation said dress appropriately. I would have appreciated a text or something.
Yeah, no, you know hey, I swear to God.
FYI, Andy and I are wearing suits.
Yeah.
What, did it kill you?
Your long-term memory is bad.
Yeah.
You've been here before. You know we wear suits.
You had suits last time?
Yes.
We always wear suits.
We always wear suits.
We've been wearing suits on this show since 1993.
You look good, too.
Thank you very much. I went and saw you backstage, and you were dressed like that, and then I said, I better get out of your dressing room. And I didn't say this, but I was thinking, he's got to get into his suit.
I noticed you didn't mention it.
No, I didn't mention it, because I've seen guests, dress casually before, and I chat them up before I go, and I just make sure they're sober and they're cool, and then
which we're not sure you're either.
Yeah.
I'm one of two. I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think you're here to sell us weed. That's what I think it's quite clear. I see you got your tennis T-shirt. I was
playing a little tennis this morning.
You like tennis?
I did. Yeah, I do.
That's how you do it? That's how you play tennis?
Yeah.
You should try a racket sometime. You might like it.
It's funny, dude. It's funny. He's one of the good ones. And he knows I feel this way about him.
Yeah, I know.
Because Conan and I are friends.
Yeah.
And he knows how I feel about him.
That.
I can change if you. Commercial break coming up.
I
can run back. It'd be like a T Swift concert.
Yeah.
Just have a different outfit every time.
No, that's all right.
No. Now you're a big.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
And I mean this. I don't care how many talk shows out there. Who's hot, who's the latest, whatever. At the end of the day, on this network at this hour, there's nobody.
That's a friend.
And I mean that. I mean that.
I know you mean it. I know you mean it. Now, you said you've been playing tennis. You were just in New York for the U.S. Open.
U.S. Open.
Did you have a good time?
Oh, great time. I love that.
Could you get more relaxed right now?
Come on.
I love anyone tuning in right now. You're there. Andy, you should just take a nap on the couch.
I can't. I'm too distracted by his toes.
I know.
Now you've made me self-conscious.
I know.
You look fine.
Like
Don't cover those babies up. Those are fantastic.
Drop something on one of them.
Yeah. You do have a bruise on your toe. A bad bruise. No. Right.
See, I was worried about
right
this.
There.
I was worried about this.
There. Look at that.
That one.
Get that one, right?
Yeah,
this is the kind of show we run.
Wait, watch your head. Oh, my God.
I was drawn to the bruise.
This is
very attractive.
That's because I'm an athlete. Oh. Any kind of athletes, like me and like Pele, we got very similar. You've seen that photo of his feet?
Sure.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Please welcome our good friend, Timothy Oliphant. I get it. I get what you're doing. You're dressing. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Very funny. Very funny. They told me he's got a little surprise for you backstage. You can't know what it is. And here we go. That's you make me look like a real dick. I love it. So that was your fun little prank, is you're going to take the iconic Conan look that I created. And you're going to make a fool out of me. Is that what you're going to do?
First of all, and you know me, we're friends, so you'll vouch. Come on.
We are friends.
This has always been my look.
That has never been your look.
And this is your new look.
No.
You're doing my thing.
No, I'm not doing your... No, I'm not.
Come on.
This was my thing.
This is my wardrobe. I just got dressed and I brought this from home.
You lie.
What?
You lie. First of all, you're a huge fan of the show, so you've watched every one in the new iteration. I know that you've seen what I'm doing on the air, and this is a sad attempt to, I think make fun of my look, when all you're doing is making me look even cooler.
First of all, do you realize that the first time when I came on your show, however many years ago, this occurred to me the day I ran into your wife at a restaurant here, and she pointed out that when I saw you a few weeks ago on your...
the podcast.
You were on the podcast.
Yeah.
And she said that you compared me to a cat chasing a laser.
You were kind of all over the place. People loved it, but you were all over the place.
But it occurred to me that the first time we met and I was on one of your shows, you referred to me as the cool guy.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, how far we've come.
No. Look.
Right?
I do say...
We have gotten to know you.
Yeah,
right?
We've gotten to know you well. And I will say we have become friendly in real life. I don't have a lot of friends outside the show. I don't. And it's something... No. More of my own choice, and no one likes me.
Don't feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it.
Yeah. But we became...
It's hard to keep outsiders quiet, if you know what I mean.
But we became friendly. We became friendly outside the show, and what's weird is when we go places together, we make the oddest couple, and people have commented on it.
Do you know that we've become such good friends that the other night I went to a restaurant, and I got there I was meeting someone there, and the maitre d' said, meeting your wife? And I said, no, and they go, Conan?
That's true. That's true. That's a true story.
Your other wife?
Yeah. That's true.
It's true.
Oh, you know, this woman. Do you remember this? This woman came up. This is a true story. This woman.
We should dress alike when we go out to dinner.
We should.
Though. This is just right.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
All right. Tell me the woman.
Yeah, you're like a cat with a laser. You know, just like. We were at a restaurant together, and this woman came up, and do you remember this?
Yes, I do remember this.
You tell the story, because she thought she was complimenting us. Go ahead.
So,
true story.
First of all, going out with Conan, there's a lot of like, Conan! There's a lot of big, like, people get excited, right? Well, that's kind of your...
No, I get people are happy to see me, I suppose, you know.
Come on, people get very excited.
It gets pretty
like,
nuts.
It gets crazy. Yeah. I don't have that problem.
No.
It's a different encounter, and it's anyway.
No, you got your hardcore fans too.
But they tend to get a lot of. I think they confuse me as being perhaps a cool dude that I play on TV. So I get a lot of like, I see you over there. I don't want to make a big deal. I love what you're doing. And then they walk away, and I'm like, this fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's as good as it gets.
I never get that.
You get a lot of like, go down! Yeah, you get a lot of that.
I get people that just go like, do it! I don't even know what they're.
Yeah.
I'll be in a restaurant. I'll be in a restaurant, and I'll be like, the guy will be like, you might want to try the celery soup, and I'll be like, do it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
so
tell me what
there's
happened.
one particular lady. It was so good. She managed to both compliment and offend us both in a single moment.
This is good.
She literally walked up to our table. She was so excited to see both of us. And she said, no, you don't understand. She said, if I could have a guy with, and she referenced to me, with your looks, and then she looked at you and said, and your brain. She literally, it's awesome.
That is awesome. She left, and both of us felt like shit.
It was literally,
the rest of the night.
It was literally like, thank you,
Yeah.
you bitch.
You know, I've had the pleasure of getting to know you a little bit off camera. You know,
We're close. We hang out.
We hang out.
Our families hang out.
Our families hang out.
Your kids call me Uncle Tim. My kids call you the talk show guy.
I think they should learn my name at some point. I really do. But your wife, Alexis, is absolutely lovely. She's a lovely woman. She's beautiful. She's been with you since the very beginning. You guys met when you were practically kids.
Yeah, we've been together like 30 years, something like that.
We've been through...
it feels like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Underwater. I've said it before. It's a terrible joke. It's a terrible joke. By the way, you know what's wonderful right now? The kids are all, two of them are in college, and then one's been gone the last couple days on like a senior trip of some kind. And we had like, you know, we had this whole thing where like, this is gonna be what it's gonna be like in a year or two when they're all gone, and oh no, it turns out it's Don't worry about it. That whole empty nest thing, it's like, oh, it's sad, we're gone, but it's awesome.
You like it?
Oh, my God. First of all, people think you're in show business, that somehow kids are going to be like, isn't that great, your dad's in show business? It's not. It's the same as any dad. They hate you. And they're not impressed.
No, they are not impressed.
No, you know what I realized the last couple days? Is there's nobody going, Dad, I can hear you. As if I'm taking up space in the house that I bought.
Yeah.
Right? Like that is nice.
Yes.
And then my couple days, it's just the two of us. And my wife's like, I'm gonna run to the grocery store. What do we need? And I literally said, milk and vodka. And she said, that's it? And I said, we have coffee.
Yeah.
I was like, we didn't feel like we really needed anything.
I gotta wash my balls with something.
I heard that. Yeah. It was a Tito's thing. By the way, and I hadn't planned it, but Tito's is good. They say all vodka tastes the same. Not as far as I'm concerned. Tito's.
You're gonna get so much Tito's.
So
You're
good.
gonna get so much Tito's.
I mean, I'm trying to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't work a lot. I don't particularly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't work a lot?
No, once upon a time in Hollywood, what was that, 2 days, 3 days?
Now, Andy, honestly, 2.5 weeks.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot.
A lot of cutting room floor.
A lot of cutting room floor.
Yeah.
You know what?
I
I don't
this?
care. I loved every second of it. I'm sorry. Were we interrupting you?
No. You know what I'm wishing? You know what I'm wishing? I am wishing I wore a hat like that on the show. I'm wishing I had a hat like that on the show, because I'm noticing you get to do one thing, but then when you start to tell a story, you push it back. And you get into the yarn you're going to tell. And that's a move you only see cowboys do.
Yeah.
I would do that every time on this show. I'd do the setup to the joke, blah, 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 and then I'd push it back and go, so you can wash your balls. I would do it like that. You know what I'm saying?
I saw it. We all saw it.
When you pointed out your props, I was about to say, well, don't forget the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good looking hat.
It's good. Thank you. I apprate that.
Well, I didn't mean
You
it.
know a guy down,
What production did you steal it from?
You know what?
See, I know the deal.
No, he had that made. He knows real hat guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but the same guy who made the hats for the shows that I've been, I've had the fortune of being in a bunch of these shows where I wore hats and just walked around and was cool.
Right.
And there's a guy, you know what? I'm gonna just tell you, I'm not even gonna make it a cheesy commercial. Baron hats. Yeah, but he's now downtown.
Oh.
Yeah, he moved downtown. It's fantastic.
Nice.
Hollywood Hat Maker. You know what I'm talking about. They've been around. They've been making hats for everybody.
Folks, if you're in downtown,
I'm down. You go down there
and
and
you want to get a hat.
Tell them Tim sent you.
Yeah.
And
Baron hats.
I would like more free hats.
Yeah.
They're not cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think hats work for me. If I wore that hat, may I try? Is it okay? If this has been washed?
Yeah.
All right.
I just threw it on because I need a haircut.
It looks so good on you, and then I put these things on.
Yeah. I feel you. But wait, you went to.
I got a story for you. It's not the same. You know what I mean? I got a giant melon.
Yeah, that looked like your dirt bowl, your Dust Bowl farm got foreclosed on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took my farm.
Yeah.
I should wear that hat and a tie that stops here. And overalls. That's what I should wear.
I still trying to think of the image of you with that hat. What's that from? It looks like that little animated thing, but I can't think of what it is.
What's that?
I don't know, but let's all stop and think about it. We'll cut it out later.
No. Oh, this is staying in. I wouldn't miss this for the world.
We're gonna find it, and they're gonna, because you got some people here, and they're on top of it, and they're gonna find it, and they're gonna put it up next to me, and people are gonna, okay.
Look at that guy.
But
That's a well-meaning guy.
It's a cartoon. What if it's just a recent animated thing?
That's a guy that means well, and he's sorry his tractor did all that damage.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Really good.
It's lovely when you come by the show. And
I love being here. Thanks for having me.
And I have
Very
many
kind of
people, every time you're on, this is a comment I get from a lot of people. I don't know if you've heard it as well, but people tell me they love it when Tim's on.
Yeah.
Because you're so loose. It's almost as if, I'm not saying you've been drinking backstage. But you have the looseness of a man who's had a few.
God damn
You're
it.
wearing
Hold on a second. You guys gotta pay attention.
Yeah.
That's not getting by me, buddy.
You hugged me.
No.
You hugged me.
Who wears, let me see, who wears this on a talk show?
There it is. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, man.
You're getting on with your
There's no one better. Tim Oliphant, everybody. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Appreciate that. That's very, very, very kind. Thank you. That's lovely. You, this one's mine?
Yeah.
Listen. Right back at you. It's important. You know, we all want to, this is a...
Why do I want to hold this now?
I thought, I think it killed everything. You can use it.
Yeah. Just put that in there. Yeah.
This is not only for us. It's a PSA. It's like a public service. We're trying to help the people.
Yeah.
You got to wash your hands. This is what I know. You got to wash your hands frequently.
Yeah.
For 20 seconds.
Right.
Which, by the way, is exhausting. Have you tried? I mean, like, my forearms are killing me.
Yeah.
If arm wrestling comes back, I'm ready.
Yeah. It's a lot. 20 seconds is a lot longer than you think.
That's what I just said.
It was what you just said.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, Conan, and this is important, is if I understand it correctly, don't touch people's faces.
Right.
They say don't touch people's faces.
Well, you're supposed to touch your own face.
Oh, it's your own face.
It's your own face, yeah.
What were you doing before?
The other one's easier.
Yeah.
Damn it. Guys, we're screwed. Don't touch your face.
Yeah.
You know how difficult that is?
It is very hard.
That's a rule in a drinking game.
Yeah.
That's how difficult it is.
It is very hard to do, especially if one admires one's face. I'm a bit of a face toucher. I like the cheekbones, you know what I mean?
I'm going to move on.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
How dare you point at me while wearing a hat? Yes. You had nothing.
What are you going to do about it?
You stopped.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. You stopped the flow of a professional show. You stopped the bus, and then you had nothing.
By the way, speaking of
Were you hoping for a bird to land on your finger?
I try to pay attention. I think I heard it. I just can't keep up. It's too much.
It's all right. It's all right.
All right. So here's the deal. Speaking of breaking the flow.
Yeah.
I came on your podcast.
I want to talk about this. Yes. This
Good. Well, this is perfect then.
Yeah, this is perfect because I have a little bit of a bone to pick with you. I have a podcast that's been...
And he's not doing this, and he's not doing the travel thing, and then there's the knitting show. Then you do the podcast.
I got a lot of stuff going. You know,
That's
it's
right.
important to keep a lot of things going at the same time.
I can't wait to hear about the children that we don't know about.
You think that's why I'm doing that stuff?
I can't figure out why else.
There's no way to. If I had a secret child, there'd be a 6'4" girl with a pompadour walking around. There's no way I'm hiding a secret kid. All right. Anyway, this guy comes on my podcast and hilarious, wonderful guy. But then he keeps interrupting me to do commercials for his own stuff. You start doing commercials for products that you're promoting. You interrupted me like 15 times to promote your stuff. I've never seen anyone do that before.
And I want you to know that I'm not going to do that tonight. I don't want to, I promise you, I don't want to interrupt the flow of the thing because I felt like that was one of the things that was a little bit of a problem.
Yes.
So I won't do that. And the answer to your first question will be brought to you by Granix Apple Bitter Spray. It's a spray your dogs and cats hate. And you can spray it in their mouth if you need to, or you just spray stuff on your furniture. It's fantastic. Continue.
Are you getting money from them? You're getting actual money from the Granix people?
They said if you do it on the show, it's way more than the podcast.
Okay.
And pet supplies.
3 cases of apple spray.
What are you here to promote besides this